Hi.
Hello, everybody. My name is Brian Hart. I'm the Executive Director of the Esselstyn Foundation. Welcome. Thanks for joining us again for another evening of plant-based mayhem.
Look at Chicago, California, Rochester, Northeast Florida, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. Hi, everybody. So good to see you all.
All right.
Good to see your chat.
Welcome to Tofu and Tempeh Fest. Hopefully we'll address a lot of your questions and concerns you might have about soy-based products. The way we're going to do this is, a quick reminder, the Esselstyn Foundation is a 501c3 public charity. As you probably know, we seek to prevent and reverse lifestyle-related diseases through the promotion of whole food plant-based nutrition. And if you're interested in finding more about us, please finding out more about us, just come to our website, www.esselstynfamilyfoundation.org, and see what we're doing. And for all of you, or those of you who are interested in partnering with us, if you work for a nonprofit or are associated with some sort of community organization, and you'd be interested in partnering with us, we would be happy to team up with you and deliver lots of information about plant-based eating virtually to your constituent group. So please, please, please be in touch. All right. Tofu and Tempeh Fest. I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen over to a quick 5-minute set of slides. It's just going to lay a foundation of an understanding of tofu and tempeh. And then we will jump right into the cooking demo, which is the reason most of you are probably here. So hold on a sec here. All right. Tofu and tempeh. I felt like it was important for me to lay out a little bit of information about tofu and tempeh for those of you who are new to plant-based eating, which hopefully we have a lot of newbies, if you will, who are interested in learning more about this stuff. What are they and are they healthy? So tofu, what in the world is tofu? This is one of those funny things that I think a lot of people walk around and say, oh, it's that stuff that's gross and it's, the consistency is nasty, whatever. But hopefully you will learn to love tofu as much as we do. So tofu, it came from China. It's about 2,000 years old. And I learned this recently, which is fascinating, is that I didn't realize that when they make it, it's actually made out of condensed soy milk. So the soy milk is essentially something's added to it to coagulate it, and then it's just pressed into blocks. As many of you probably know, it comes in a variety of different firmnesses. You can get silken, soft, medium firm. It's very high in protein, contains all the essential amino acids. So it's what would be called a complete protein. It's nutrient dense. Tofu especially has a lot of calcium in it. So for those of you who are concerned about calcium intake, tofu is great for that. It also contains these phytoestrogens called isoflavones, which is the thing that I'll talk about in a moment that has some people concerned about soy products. But actually what I'll explain is that actually the isoflavones are actually really good for you. So they're linked to reduction of risk of cancer, diabetes, and heart disease, among other things. And the one thing you should know about tofu that's that's not controversial, but it's something you should know, is that roughly 50% of the calories do come from fat. And so for Dr. Esselstyn's patients, a lot of times he suggests that people eat tofu and tempeh or soy-based products a couple times a week at the most, just because of the higher fat content. And that's for his heart patients that are that have a lot of have had multiple stents and bypasses, and he really needs for them to be especially clean. But we at our household eat tofu or tempeh and use soy milks. Like I put soy milk in my coffee. We use it a couple times a week at least. Okay, tempeh. Tempeh is the one that a lot of people don't quite know much about. These days, we can actually find it in our Giant Eagle, which is our local, not local, but it's a regional, actually, I guess it's national. Giant Eagle is, we can find it in Giant Eagle these days. And so it came from Indonesia in about the 12th century. This is where people get a little weirded out by it, but it's made from fermented soybeans that have been cooked until they're tender and then bound together by this rhizopus mold. Now, of course, it sounds weird and nasty, but the mold is fine. And actually, the fermenting process, which I'll talk about in a moment, actually it adds nutritional value to it. pressed into cakes or blocks. There's a picture of a cake. It comes in actually many different varieties. There's all different kinds, and there's even tempehs that are made of other types of beans. But in this case, we're focusing solely on the soybean. Again, high in protein, contains all the essential amino acids, just like tofu. It's nutrient dense and high in fiber. Actually, the fiber content in tempeh is much, much higher than it is in tofu. Contains the beneficial isoflavones, the phytoestrogens that are reduced to lower risks of disease. But it's a little bit higher in fat. So again, if you're a heart patient and you're really trying to be careful, if you were to choose tofu versus tempeh, you should probably choose tofu. It's a little bit lower in fat, but again, the saturated fat's a very small amount. It's like I think if a cake of tempeh has 11 grams of fat in it, then I think 2 of them are saturated. So it's considered to be low in saturated fats. Now, this question is the one that I'm sure many of you are interested in because, as I put here on the slide, but I heard. So are soy products healthy? We get this question all the time when we do presentations. And because there was some information that came out 10, 15 years ago about this link between the phytoestrogens in soy products and cancer growth. And so good or bad? Well, I have to tell you, from scouring the internet, looking for information, and then going to some sources that we are highly trusted, we have found that, in fact, soy products should be and are a part of a healthy diet. In 2015, there was a comprehensive review done by the European Food Safety Authority, and they concluded that the isoflavones that are the things that are considered to be the concern, the phytoestrogens, they're not linked to breast cancer, thyroid, uterine cancer. And so that was 2015. Then, according to Harvard, they have a Harvard Public Health school that puts out a newsletter. This was the quote that I found from them, that it's safe to be consumed several times a week and probably more often. And it is especially great for you if you're using it as a substitute for red meats or processed meats. And then I found a 2020 meta-analysis, which is, a meta-analysis is when they look at a number of studies that have been done over the years and kind of pull together all the information. And the quote in their conclusion of that study that was done in China is that there's actually an inverse dose response association. So really what that means is that the higher your soy intake, or in this case, tofu intake, actually lower your breast cancer risk. Dr. Christy Funk, who is a good friend of the Esselstyn Foundation and works with Jane, who wrote the book Breast, the Owner's Manual, who's been on The Doctors, if you follow that show on television. She actually prescribes soy consumption to her patients, to her breast cancer patients. She has a great quote: not only is soy safe, it literally drops breast cancer rates by 60% for soy consumers. And if you have breast cancer, it drops your recurrence rate by 60%. And then, of course, the master of all research, Dr. Michael Greger, he has a quote on one of his blogs that says, and I quote, "Researchers have found that women diagnosed with breast cancer who ate the most soy lived significantly longer and had significantly lower risks of breast cancer recurrence than those who ate less." So as far as we can find, and as far as Dr. Esselstyn knows, soy is safe for consumption, and people should not be concerned about it. In fact, I found a quote online that even said that the doubts about soy are not based on sound science. That's a direct quote from an article that I read. All right. So to make this quick, which is better? Again, this is a funny sort of contest to run, really, to look at the nutritional content of both of them. So Dr. Greger actually speaks specifically about an analysis that looked at the difference between eating edamame, or the nutritional value of edamame, and the nutritional value of tofu. And in this case, edamame, the pure edamame, won. But when they actually compared tempeh to edamame, tempeh came out better. So ultimately, for the sake of argument, we'll say that tempeh is better for you. You will notice here it's got a higher protein content. It's got higher fiber content. And as many of you know, roughly 95% of Americans are fiber deficient. So the more fiber we can get in, the better. Now, of course, you'll notice it also is higher in fat a little bit. In fact, some of the numbers that I found actually had the fat content slightly higher than 5.4. So it's a little bit higher than tofu. But again, so if you want to declare a winner, it's tempeh. All right, so let's get to the cooking demonstration. Ann and Jane have been slaving away all day getting this ready. As Jane always says, gosh, it always takes way longer than I expect to prep all this stuff for the demonstrations. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to my hero and yours, hopefully, Ann Esselstyn and Jane Esselstyn, YouTube sensations, as you probably know, and cookbook authors. And be sure to check out their cookbook, Be a Plant-Based Woman Warrior, if you haven't already.
And Brian, you are our hero.
All right, hold on. Let me switch the cameras, and we are ready to go. All right, you guys are on.
Hi. Hey, I'm Jane.
I'm Ann Esselstyn.
And we are so excited to follow up with Brian's theory, and we're going to put it into practice. And we, without really knowing it, we realized that we use some sort of soy product. Like, I mean, I'm talking soy sauce, like tamari, we call it. This is tamari is our version of soy sauce. Soy sauce, tempeh, tofu, silken tofu, not silken tofu. I don't know what that's called.
Edamame.
Edamame. We use it all the time. So this is actually kind of exciting, and we have dinner with all 8 of us after this. So we're thrilled to have this going. And when Brian said I mentioned it takes longer to do a demo, it's because I cook it a certain like I mise en place it to a certain stage, and then I can't kick it in the goal. It'd be so much easier if I just would finish. It'd be so much faster. But now I have to like stop, store, maintain, Anyway, enough of that. Let's just get going. We're going to start with breakfast. We're going to do a tofu scramble, and then we're going to do...
I am so ready for breakfast right now.
I know. We love this. And then we're going to go to kind of a lunch thing, which is an edamame hummus. Edamame meaning that's the soybean. And then we're going to do a tempeh reuben on rye. Love that one. And then we're going to do a classic we always do if you are a part of our videos here. We love teriyaki tofu or teriyaki tempeh. Please put in the chat with John, who's here. He'll let us know if you guys are voting for teriyaki tofu or teriyaki tempeh. We want to know which one you want us to make.
I think we should do tempeh
I want
because
to hear
that's the least well known.
Well, they may have a different opinion. Well, let us know what you want us to do. And then my mom is going to make a wonderful tofu-based mousse dessert. What do you call it? Parfait? What is it?
I call them mousse, but you call them puddings. But puddings sound like they're not good.
It sounds British. It's a bit British sounding. Okay, so let's start with the first thing, which is the tofu scramble. And what we do is we take a block of tofu, and you're going to squeeze a lot of the moisture out of it. And this is an extra firm block of tofu, so there's not a ton of moisture in it, but you want to get it out. Otherwise, it gets gummy in the pan. You'll know what I mean if you have one that's got doesn't have a lot of fluid in it. So, Ann, I'm going to have you do me a favor, and you're going to tear this into I know this sounds funny, but Brian, do you have a close camera on me? My hand.
Yep.
This is kind of like a chunk of egg.
This is kind of
no crumbling, no crumble. Keep making chunks because it's going to crumble in here.
Oh,
Yeah, and it goes in after I put in this stuff. So we're in a pan over medium-high heat. Believe it or not, you're going to put the dry mixture. And the dry mixture here, I'm going to read it all off. Again, these are like strategies, not necessarily recipes. So you could use as much, pepper as you want, or curry powder as you want, or turmeric as you want. And what I have,
too big.
that's a little big. But what I have in here is some,
I have the hardest job of all.
nutritional yeast, about a cup of it. And I have black pepper, I don't know if you can see Brian, black pepper, turmeric, curry powder, and nutritional yeast all mixed up. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in the pan, even though it's on and this is dry, because Ann's going to put in all of her chunks. Not put them in here. Sorry, I had to get this in first. Ann, you can go in here.
Okay, goodness.
Here, I'll lift it. There you go. She's just got these chunks.
You want to do some chunks?
Yeah, I'm going to tear some chunks with you there. There you go. And it's just like scrambled eggs are
I've
like
never
chunks.
made this. I just eat it when changed.
What is the noun for a chunk of scrambled egg? Can you put in the chat box, please? Like, is it a hunk?
Curd.
A curd. Oh, that sounds like it's a fermented cheese chunk. All right, so we're going to put all this in.
This is an
Oh, you know what?
amazing texture.
You know what? Yes. And what I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to have put some tamari, like put this in a bowl and put tamari on it just to have a little bit of flavor sink into the tofu. But that's clearly been missed right now.
The amazing thing about tofu is that it has no flavor and it adopts whatever taste you put on it. So it's
So I'm gonna put the tablespoon or so of tamari on it right now because it's gonna help. I'm trying to get it on some of the tofu chunks. So that was probably like a tablespoon and a half of the roughly 2 lids. And then what you're gonna do, Ann, I want you to just keep doing this. Everyone says, "Oh my gosh, it's so dry." It's not. Just do that. Go underneath, shovel all this the fluffy. There you go. Because what's next is really cool. This is sort of the dry flavor packet almost onto the tofu, and it's going to cook. You just keep tossing it off. Is it too tall for you?
I've gotten all the hard jobs today.
Okay. And so the next thing we're gonna do is make the spicy mix that's going to go on top. And what I have there is half of a jalapeno pepper. Brian, can you see this? This is the other half of the jalapeno pepper. I already chopped up the front end of this, and it looks like this. So we're going to put in half a jalapeno pepper, and we're going to put half of a serrano pepper. A serrano pepper has got a little more heat. We're not spicy people. We're from Cleveland, Ohio. We're like garlic salt is our jam. So this is that, and then there's 2 cloves of garlic.
Is this in the Warrior Cookbook? Jane?
This is in actually our book called Plant Strong. It's called the Bolden Creek Scrambler. And this is almost done. But I'm going to add, I know, doesn't that sound crazy?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in this
The
small bowl.
turmeric has given it this wonderful yellow color.
Yeah. So I'm going to grab one of our what's it called? This is our, I hope you can hear me, see me. I'm going to put all garlic. This is 2 cloves of garlic, and this is half a serrano pepper. And it goes, these cute little bowls. Somebody sent these to us. I love these little bowls. They're perfect for our mise en place, setting up our stuff. What's that? Okay.
You know, I just tasted one of these. It already tastes pretty good.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we like cilantro. Some people don't like cilantro, just don't add it in. Again,
Or use parsley.
strategy versus recipe. So we're gonna take some of this. I'm gonna just take some cilantro and just chop it up, coarse, stems and all. Get some good fiber in there, and that's gonna be part of the greens that we add to this great soy-based tofu scramble.
Jane,
Hey, there you go. So now look, you stir this all up, and now we've got garlic, jalapeno, and cilantro all in there to add a little bit of green, a little bit of depth of flavor. It's got like a fresh, hot flavor. When you use a little bit of a pepper, it adds flavor. If you use a lot of pepper, it adds heat. So we often add a tiny bit of pepper. I mean, like jalapeno pepper or a serrano pepper.
or even
Okay. Are there other peppers you use? Anaheim has a really subtle heat. We use that in one of our favorite hummuses.
How hot's the pan?
This is a medium high. Just
Okay.
it smells kind of good.
it isn't burning. I mean, it's
Here,
crazy.
Brian, can you come have a bite? Can you have a taste? Here,
I'm sure.
because I can't talk with mouthful. Tell us how it tastes. John, you want to try a taste?
Sure.
Yum.
Is it yum?
Really good.
It's
Okay.
pretty good.
This is Brian's fork. We're gonna keep that. John.
Okay, John and I've made out.
Shh. Oh, here, I want John to get a little bit of everything.
I'm behind the camera there.
Here you go.
All right.
Tell us how it is.
Crazy good.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Is it good?
The
All right,
coating on there is amazing.
Leave your fork right there. John's fork, Brian's fork.
Why, you're not going to refill it?
Okay, I'm gonna keep this dish beside me for the whole.
No, you're not. We're gonna put it over here. Okay, so we're gonna
I'll
blind-
take it over.
We're gonna go on. You can take it over. Now, see how Ann was doing that, and it was kind of dry. It wasn't, the nutritional yeast wasn't sticking to the bottom of the pan and getting gummy in the bottom. If you don't get all the moisture out of your tofu or a lot of it out, it will get gummy. That's why we have that little warning or that suggestion to do that. So the next thing we're gonna do is we need the Cuisinart because we're gonna make a hummus. And the hummus is going to have a foundation of, guess what? Are people, can they guess what the foundation is going to be? And can you write all this down? Can you guess? Anybody guessing?
Chicken.
Chicken? Did someone say chicken?
No.
We're plant-based here, yo. So the
Now,
foundation.
here's a little hint.
What is she holding? What is this? Some people don't know this. What is Ann holding? This green little
Green beans.
peas. Anybody guess what it is?
Yep. Edamame, hummus.
Yay, exactly. We're making edamame hummus. That means soybean-based hummus. And we're going to do it with all the flavors we have come to love that go with is edamame. So what we're going to do is this is called ginger wasabi edamame hummus. And it starts with 1.5 cups of soybeans. Ann, can you please put that into the Cuisinart? 1.5 cups of soybeans there. In they go. All right, the next thing we're going to put in is a 1/4 cup of, this is our 1/4 cup of pickled ginger. So pickled ginger usually comes in a jar with some fluid in it. Go ahead and just pull out a lot of the ginger and the fluid coming in there with it, no problem. So she's gonna get some pickled ginger in there. 2 cloves of garlic also we're gonna go in here. And then a 1/4 cup of water, which we'll get after we use the 1/4 cup here. 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. We have a lemon. Here's one here. No, look, it's gotta fill it up. Fill it up. All right. So that's.
Yeah.
What do you need, Brian?
Is the edamame blanched?
Edamame hummus?
Yeah. No, is the edamame you're using blanched?
No. I need that book back, Brian.
Was it? Was it frozen?
It's thawed edamame that's been shelled. Sorry, I need the book that she's grabbed for our next one. So we need a 1/4 cup of water. Thank you. And we're gonna need 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. Just count the tablespoons with me. 1.5. That's a good one. That was a pretty good one.
No, this is in the new book, right?
Nope. This
Engine
recipe
2.
is in Engine 2 cookbook. We're not trying to sell our books, but those of you who might have them, it is in the Engine 2, not Rick's Engine 2 diet, but the Engine 2 cookbook.
Yeah.
And that's 2 and 3 tablespoons. Did the water make it in here? Oh, thank you. No, it's right there. It's right there. And the water goes. So we have lemon, we have water, pickled ginger, garlic, and
Someone's asking if they can use their Vitamix to do this.
totally. We just use a Cuisinart. You can use your Vitamix all you want. Edamame, ginger, garlic, water, fresh lemon
Wasabi.
juice, 1.5 to 3 tablespoons of wasabi powder. Now, wasabi powder is hot. We had a relative mistaken that it was guacamole, and he put a big scoop in his mouth. You almost saw smoke come out of his ears. So let's do 2 teaspoons of it for ourselves. Should we do 3?
Oh, no. Jane,
Yeah, let's give it a go.
you're making them heaping.
No. That's got a hollow in it.
Oops,
We're giving it a go. This is from a big root that will it's got a lot of heat to it. Okay, so if you want to put some sesame seeds in, you can. If you don't have them, don't worry about it. About a 1/4 cup. I'm just going to put a couple in there. They had a little elevate the flavor a little bit. So a lid right here, and off we go. We bring it to the toast. Okay, so we've used tofu as Brian described it. Tofu is the fermented soybean curd.
No, tofu is not fermented.
Sorry, it's soy milk that's been
Coagulated.
coagulated.
And it's tempeh that's fermented.
Right. I'm so glad to learn more about this because I talk about this all the time, and I've been saying things that are not spot on. Ooh. It's always good to learn more and be corrected. We're going to tofu over here. Okay, we're going to scooch this down a little bit, and you can add a little water if you want. I might add a little bit of the flavor from the liquid in the. I'm just going to add about, a tablespoon of fluid. Just because it looks to me like some people like a really thick, chunky hummus texture. I tend to like a little bit more spreadable, smoother texture. This is just my preference.
I'm
do you-
ready
What are you ready?
to take a taste.
Oh, she's ready to take a taste. We're gonna have John and Brian come up too. And this time you don't need your forks, you guys. You're gonna dip it in. All right, John and Brian, come on up. Give it a try.
Someone's asking what was the last thing into the food processor? It was sesame seeds?
Sesame seeds, yeah. John,
Yeah.
give us your how does it
It's
taste?
good. It's got wasabi in it.
Is it too much wasabi?
No, it's
Oh
really
yeah.
good.
It has too much wasabi?
Mm-hmm.
No. It has too much wasabi for John.
Wow.
Here, have another piece of bread. It'll calm you down.
No, I'm gonna have some water. Wow.
Brian, what do you
It's
think?
delicious, but it's strong.
Brian?
It's amazing.
Good.
Hey, Brian's saying it's good. It's good. Okay.
I lost my toast in the.
Okay. So we've done a tofu scrambler. Can we clear this away now? Put this up in the corner. There you go. So we did a tofu scrambler. We did a edamame hummus, which you can use. We just put this on little pieces of toast to try, but you can also put it obviously on your lunch. You know, you can make a sandwich with it. It's a wonderful hummus. That's what it's used as. And hummus for us has become our new butter and our new mayonnaise and our new everything. We don't use butter, cream, eggs, mayonnaise. We use use hummus. So the next thing we're going to make is a tempeh reuben. This we chose because it has all kinds of soy products in it. And one of the first things it has is rye bread. And our rye bread right now is in the oven. And I thought it was getting crisp, but it's getting moisturized. We have rye bread. And can you eat 2 more pieces out of it? And the rye bread is the foundation of a reuben because that's what Brian told me. I've never had a reuben before, but he loved reubens from growing up. And he that's why I needed the book back because his reuben on rye is in this book. And Brian, you lost my page.
You know, I can remember when Brian first made this,
Oh, it was hilarious.
and
You were so funny.
Too much wasabi.
Well, wait, don't come from the bread.
I don't like rye bread. I didn't like
Tempeh.
tempeh. I thought I didn't like
sauerkraut.
sauerkraut, and I didn't think I liked
Pickles.
pickles. It was the best sandwich I've ever eaten.
She ate it all. Okay, and so what if you're okay, Ann, we're going to proceed.
No,
Too much.
truthfully,
Get some water.
it's not that. It's when I was in the oven, I snitched a little bit of the tofu.
Okay, then that serves you right. Okay,
And this is what tempeh looks like.
so tempeh is like it's like a plaque or a cake, if you will.
Cake, they call it.
A cake. And Brian, can you see this in your camera here? You can see the shape of the like edamame you saw in the hummus.
Can you put it a little closer to the camera? There you go.
You can see the shape of the like the edamame beans still in the cake because it's fermenting, right? And get some water, poor thing. It's in the air now, whatever that is. So what we did is I want to make the tempeh kind of be the corned beef. Is that what's in Reuben? Is Reuben have corned beef?
Corned beef.
So what we did was I just took the tempeh. This is how I open my tempeh package because it's such a tight seal. I cut open the end and then I cut down the sides. You cut it open however you want.
Oh, that's good. I never know how to do that.
Yeah, I just sort of make my way in. And so what we did is we cut these into strip.
Wait a minute, show them.
How much edamame was in the hummus? It was like about
About a cup and a half.
cup and a half.
Brian, can you see how you can see the soy
I'm
beans?
just talking about that when you're
I know, but you didn't show them without being in
the package. Okay, so we can show again up close. There you go, bro. You really can see it with this packaging off. Look at that texture. Good call.
Back it up a little bit. It's getting like it's hard to have a hard time focusing. There you go. Okay.
And so I'm cutting this, just literally cutting these into about 1 centimeter. I mean, they're not a quarter inch, it's not a half inch. That's what a centimeter is. Get used to it, Americans. Metric system is going to come someday. Okay, I'm going to put all these into a bowl with a little bit of tamari, a little bit of soy sauce, so they all get turned a little bit darker. And I added just a pinch of liquid smoke because I don't know what corned beef tastes like. If you don't want some liquid smoke in your reuben on rye
Liquid
tempeh,
smoke is great.
it's just water that's gone over smoke. And I put them all in the oven on a tray and I baked them. They look like this. Can you see, Brian? So they look like this.
Back it up a little bit.
Back it up.
There you go. Perfect.
So these are like little.
How did you cook them? Will you explain again?
I just put all of these were all in this like a similar bowl with some tamari on it and a little bit of liquid smoke. Toss them around so they all were coated. Put them in the pan, it's a sheet pan in the oven, and baked them. No, I put them in a. Excuse me. I'm so glad you asked. I put them in a frying pan.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The frying pan, and
Should I just taste one?
what I did. Oh yeah. You want a dark one? Here.
I'll let you know.
And I put them in the frying pan and I cooked them on the frying pan until all of the fluid cooked off and all the flavor stuck to the tempeh. Because look, there's no
Incredibly
fluid in here.
and wonderful texture.
So do you see how much darker they got?
Good.
And it makes a difference
Yeah.
putting them in the frying pan versus baking them.
In the
When
oven,
they-
right? I don't know
Baking
why I
them
said
and
that.
they get dry.
Yeah, the tempeh we discovered in the oven just gets a little dry. So that is going to be off the scene. So we have used soybeans in one form, tempeh, and in two forms, soy sauce in this so far. There's a third way that we use tempeh in this dish, and we didn't have enough Cuisinarts or time to show making of it. But what I did is I took, to make the sauce, which is, can you remember lowest on the left, right? And there's a tofu, is in the Cuisinart or the food Vitamix or food processor at your house. Take a silken, not soft, but silken firm.
Can you show that to the camera?
Yeah, silken firm tofu. You can get this with light silken firm or extra firm, but this is the one you need because it's smooth. If you use any other tofu, like the one we use for the tofu scrambler, you'll make cat litter. Chunky, clingy, yucky. You have to use silken for a sauce because we're going to make the Thousand Island dressing. So we put in, it's just three things. You put in the tofu, you put in some ketchup, and you put in some pickle relish. Voila. What comes out is this. My daughter does not like this. She thinks it's flesh colored and yucky, but it actually tastes like childhood to those of us who were raised on Thousand Island dressing.
And thought I didn't like it. All of this combination is to die for.
Yeah. So could you put a little bit of this on each layer of the sandwich? And then we're going to put some spinach on. Spinach on a reuben because we will try to get greens everywhere we can. Anywhere we can. Thank you. And
Can't go fast enough, Jay.
you're doing great. You're doing great. Keeping up. Keeping pace. Okay, so on, there we go. We've got rye bread, our Thousand Island dressing made of three things.
Did you want it on both sides?
Yeah. It's made of silken tofu, ketchup, and pickle relish mixed together. I had Brian test it on one of those pieces of bread. He said, good. And then we're going to put on, we put on like 3 or 4, or maybe 5 pieces of tempeh per. I'm going to get the tomatoes.
This is so gorgeous.
Yeah. Are there tomatoes on tempeh usually?
No.
Or Reubens? There's not?
Let's do it
Do
anyway.
I dare? Could I put?
Someone's asking what's in the sauce. Can you repeat that?
Yes, I'll repeat the sauce again. I'm going to put 1 tomato in each. Okay, just 1. Because we oh, okay, you're catching it. Dang. I know you're going fast.
No, I'm
You're doing
not.
great. You're doing great. The sauce, and if you have the book Plant Strong, it's in there. The sauce again is silken tofu, ketchup, and pickle relish.
What kind of sweet or dill pickle relish?
Whatever you prefer. I don't even know.
Brian,
Mine
which
said
one?
pickle relish.
Which one, Brian?
I prefer the dill.
Dill pickle relish. We'll go with
Jane.
that. Here, right here. Just put that right there.
Well, no, but
There you go. Great.
We're gonna put.
And then, oh, here, this is what I used. I used dill relish. Yeah. Then we have sauerkraut. Whatever sauerkraut you like. And I don't even know what I like because I don't really like sauerkraut. But
But when it's so good on here, if you think you don't like it, you're gonna love it here.
and it's cabbage, and it's
And this is just everything that's so good. It's so excellent to have fermented food. I wouldn't get the juice in there.
Yeah, and I'm trying to shake it off. So there you go. Now we have a little bit of sauerkraut and a little bit of spinach. Got a little tomato in there. Don't know if that's a must have or not. On we go.
Lit it?
Lit it. Okay, John and Brian, our taste testers, can y'all come up here, please? Ooh.
I think you should cut it in fours.
Okay, I'll cut it into four so you guys can you can palm it and then put the whole thing in your mouth. Okay. All right, John, Brian,
Thank you.
tell me how it is. Oh, Ann,
Oh, wow.
I'm checking that.
you're destroying it.
That dressing's amazing.
Is the
Yeah.
dressing good?
Wow.
What kind of rye bread? People are asking.
This is from a bakery on our. It's a. I don't know. This is a homemade rye. Is it good? Okay, I'm gonna keep talking so I can't.
Feel good.
It's with the tomato. It's still okay.
Mm.
Okay, so we're gonna. I'm gonna continue to make more of these as we continue our night. And I'm gonna put this to the side for now.
I'll just
And
take that away.
Okay. Okay. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do, so we kind of done a breakfast. We've done sort of a lunch spread, and we made a sandwich, which is really good for dinner or for lunch. Next thing we're going to do is also a thing that's great for dinner, for lunch. And we're going to do, this is a bowl, and the bowl we're going to make has a foundation of rice, and then we're going to have either teriyaki tofu, or teriyaki tempeh. What was the vote, John? What did they vote for?
What do you think?
I don't know.
Tempeh.
Tempeh and a landslide.
Tempeh and a landslide. I'm so proud of y'all. Thank you. And I want to thank you also because I already cut up the tempeh, and I was hoping that was where they go. Brian, I think you've educated them well. Oh, Brian's an educator at heart. Can't you tell? Okay, where'd our knife go? We had a good knife going here. It's over with we were slicing our Reubens with it. So this, I have to turn the pan on, medium high, and what we're gonna do is make the teriyaki tempeh by making the teriyaki sauce. And we put teriyaki sauce, we put in roughly, I don't know, almost like a half a cup of tamari is what I usually do. This recipe is in Be a Parfaits Woman Warrior. And then put in some maple syrup. Because teriyaki means baked with luster. And the luster comes from, in most traditional recipes, it comes from, half as much I'm putting in quarter cup. Comes from sugar in the teriyaki sauce, but we use maple syrup. Because like Brian said, there's some calcium, there's other things that come from nature. And then you put either ketchup or tomato paste. We're freshly out of tomato paste, so I'm putting ketchup in. And we do roughly a third of however much soy sauce you did. And again, this is a strategy, not a recipe. And then we put in some ginger, which I have cut over here. Oh, here are my bowls. I had more reasonable sized bowls. I had tofu ready to go, but we didn't choose tofu. Thank you. And here's our ginger all already grated up, ready to go. So let's stir that together, Mommy. And now I'm gonna put the tempeh into little cubes. Anything here, stir. There you go. And
The trusty
tofu.
tofu.
You still recovering from your wasabi? Okay, then we're going to take the tempeh, and it goes to the teriyaki sauce, which is, again, just 5 things. Soy sauce, a little maple syrup, a little ketchup or tomato paste, ginger. Oh, and then sesame seeds. Sesame seeds, where do those sesame seeds go? Here they are. Sesame
The
seeds.
Reubens in which cookbook?
Reuben's in Plant Strong. We also have a YouTube about it, because Brian, you made some edit during our YouTube.
That is Rip Esselstyn's book, and Jane is all the recipe girl.
Recipe author.
Yeah.
Recipe girl. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this behind my mom and cook it while she does the demonstration for a dessert with tofu.
Oh, well.
And because it takes a few minutes, but what I just want to show you what I'm going to put it on before she starts. So what I'm going to put this on once it's cooked back there is I can probably put it on the. Can they see me, Mom? Can you scoop? Sorry, here it goes. And you scoop. Sorry, just pour it into the pan with all the sauce. There you go. And I'm gonna let that cook for over medium-high heat for a wee bit. And while that's happening, and to make this, but I'm gonna put rice and broccoli on here, and that's gonna be our just a classic, rice and teriyaki tofu dish with some greens. All right, take it away, Mom.
And it does make a huge difference in the tempeh when you quickly fry it like Jane's doing instead of baking it.
No oil. Oh, because when you bake it, here's what it looks like baked. Just to show you, if you ask me to bake it, this is what I had ready to go. This is the baked tofu cubes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what I choked on. So, I've got the Morinu Silken Light Tofu. And this is one that I love for desserts.
That is a good one for desserts.
And you can do anything with it. I mean, you can put anything in it, but I want to show you how to open it because you have to click each side down the center, across the top, and then you hope that it all comes out nicely. But I'm going to just do it because there's a little water in here. It's coming. Oh.
What happened?
It went down.
It went down the disposal.
I'm not
Let's
taste
rinse it.
testing that.
Rinse it.
one.
Rinse it. Go, rinse it off. Give it a rinse. Give it a rinse.
Coffee grounds and everything.
Actually,
Give it a rinse. Just give it a rinse. It's fine.
well, there's more. I only got some of it. Anyway, guess what?
I mean, things usually are perfect in our kitchen every time we cook, just like yours, I'm sure. Did you rinse it off, Mommy? Here, I find
I
chunks of it
have
all over the place.
I have another
Oh,
one.
do you really do? Okay, fine. We're gonna go round two on that. Take two. Okay, take two with the more new.
I just feel it wasn't right to eat the
Potential.
tofu. So here we go again. Shane, will you get the
The what?
blueberries and the
Yeah.
cherries? Because I am passionate about this dessert, which is the only dessert I ever made. And I'm trying again.
She's okay. We're hearing it. It's coming out of the container. Go to the side of the sink. Put something on top of the disposal. We're
You
gonna-
know, the thing about tofu is it's so slippery that it just slipped.
I'm what's it called? Spotting. There you go.
I often just take a paper towel and get some of the water out, but I don't get a lot of the water out in here. This is, I'm just putting all the tofu in actually. I mean, this is crazy because it's too bad to waste it. So, where's the lid? Okay. So, we're just gonna throw it up. And then, into this goes 1/3 cup of maple syrup. And I probably need a little more because I
Yeah,
really
it's
have
right here.
two
You like
things.
You have two things? Okay, then I put another third cup.
And I'm gonna put some lemon in. Wait a minute. But what comes now are blueberries. And I love this because I feel this dessert has as much fruit as anything else. Because I'm gonna put in, whoops. Well, I actually,
You probably should double it.
okay. Then I'm gonna put in a cup of blueberries and a cup of I absolutely love these cherries, these frozen, dark, sweet cherries.
Ryan, can I interrupt you for a minute?
Unbelievably good. Yes.
I just want to show you. Look at here's the tempeh. Do you see how it's so such luster and just you can't wait to just bite into that. It's so yummy, yummy, yummy. All right, I'm gonna put this on my dish wherever I put that, and oh, here it is.
So here, I never put so much in. I actually put 2 cups of a combination of cherries and
Yum.
ooh, delicious.
Okay, I'm not interrupting.
See what comes.
And then what I love about this is I make this not too long before we eat it, and it still is. It's so nice and cold and just.
It's
It's
so
my
fresh.
favorite dessert.
It's so fresh.
And it makes a difference to put.
Keep going that.
I'll keep going, but I'm gonna put lemon juice there.
Okay. How much do you need? So let's do another one because you doubled it. You doubled the we accidentally have doubled this because we were using half clean and half disposal marinated tofu.
Now, I love to use little wine glasses of some kind. And in here, by the way, it's always key to go around and scrape the sides so that you don't get any lumps. So it's nice smooth.
That looks so yummy. I can't wait to taste that.
And then into here, I'm gonna put this. And then you see you have those nice sides with the
Oh, the banana's showing.
banana showing. And then on raspberries on top.
It's like a parfait.
And then on top of that, I always like to put a mint leaf.
Oh, pretty.
So
pretty.
this is disposal tofu, blueberries, and frozen cherries, and this gorgeous dessert.
Can we try it? Can we taste it?
And you have to eat it with these little spoons.
Hold on. Oh my God. It's so like it's frozen ice cream.
Oh, Jane, show what you made, because I said I had to make this because this is my favorite thing, and you can just make it 3 minutes. I mean, it takes 3 minutes, and do you see how icy it is? It's just
And yummy, yummy, yummy.
and with Jane,
I
Wait.
wanted, well, Brian loves chocolate pudding, and I love chocolate anything. So I thought, okay, Ann's gonna have her frozen berry yumminess for everybody to see. And I like the parfait, the fact that you have the bananas in there and with the tofu and the raspberries. But sometimes, you're not always in the mood for a fruity dessert. You want a chocolate. So
you should
If you
always
take-
be ready for my fruity dessert.
if you take the tofu, and I usually drain it in a paper towel, not paper, cloth, about, I don't know, 6 different cloths overnight. And then I add maple syrup like she did, but instead of having fruit, I add a little vanilla and cocoa powder. And look at that luscious number. Competition's rough here, Ann. Disposal,
Nothing is just
fruit or chocolate mousse.
Jane.
All right. Want to try that? John and Brian, do you come try?
Will you review?
Yes, we will review.
That is good. But
We have,
nothing beats this.
I gotta do chocolate.
okay, we have, ooh, we're getting a review out. So what we have is we started with the tofu scrambler, which was made with torn tofu. Anybody have a good noun for
Can you
the
refrigerate the leftover dessert?
You're not going to have any leftover dessert.
Well, actually, let me say
You
about
can, you
my
can.
dessert, because I don't drain my tofu. If you do not eat it soon, it kind of, you have to just stir it a little again.
'Cause the
It
water
tastes
settles.
just as good, but
That looks
I
good.
mean, oh,
Okay.
I don't
so
know whether I want
We need
do
to
it
review.
breakfast or dessert or the main meal more. But we get to eat them all.
Tempeh.
Okay. So,
Tempeh.
in the tempeh, we have the breakfast scrambler. We had the hummus made out of ginger, pickled ginger wasabi hummus. And we had our tempeh reuben with soy sauce, tempeh corned beef, if you will. And we also had the $1,000 dressing made from silken tofu with ketchup and pickles. And we made teriyaki tempeh, which my dish of teriyaki tempeh was right here. Thank you, Carl, for reminding me. And we also had the tray of tofu, but it's over there. It's hot, so I'm not going to grab it again. And then we had our desserts made with silken tofu and fruit, or silken tofu with cocoa powder and vanilla. So tons to choose from, and it's all so delicious. And we cannot wait to dive into our dinner. How's our timing? Our timing's fine. Time for some questions, or we're going to go eat.
Yeah, someone suggested, Ann, if you cut one of the ears on the bottom of the tofu box after you open the top, it slides out easy.
Like a suction.
You know, I usually do that, but thank you, I didn't. But I really wanted to have you experience the disposal tofu.
Okay, we got some questions. How much cocoa powder did you put in the chocolate, Jane?
You put about, depends on your kind of cocoa powder you have. So you taste it as you go. I'd say per one container of tofu, about a quarter cup, 3 tablespoons to a quarter cup, depending on the potency of your cocoa powder. I've had like chalky cocoa in the past where I'm putting like 5 tablespoons, or I have some really good like Penzeys cocoa, and I put like 3 to 4 tablespoons, which is about a quarter cup. Good question.
What are the dry ingredients again for the scramble?
The dry ingredients, really,
It's amazing that it works out dry.
but trust your instincts, because what we use is about a cup of nutritional yeast, and then in there we added some turmeric, curry powder, and some black pepper. That was it. And then the spicy ingredients were the peppers and the garlic and some cilantro. But again, you can play with it for what you like. If you prefer parsley, if you want to put some like scallions, a little onion in there, that would be good, yummy. What are you doing? I can paint it for you. Okay, any more questions? Because we're gonna go eat. If not,
Please review which book has the recipes.
the tofu scrambler comes from Plant Strong. The edamame hummus comes from the Engine 2 cookbook. The reuben on rye comes from Plant Strong. Teriyaki tofu comes from Be a Plant-Based Woman Warrior. There's a big tutorial in there about tofu and tempeh, by the way, just a whole chapter on it. And the desserts come from almost every book we've written, because we love these desserts. But I'd say you can find this for sure in the Engine 2 cookbook and the Plant-Based Woman Warrior book. This one is in the end. This is in the Engine 2 cookbook and the Prevent and Retard Disease
And-
cookbook.
Way back in 2007, when my husband wrote Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease, all of these desserts, these tofu, these mousse type things are there.
Thank you for asking. All right, we're going to pass you off to Brian if that's it. Thanks
Hey,
again.
so Dr. Esselstyn said no sugar, like maple sugar. So I'm confused.
No, he says minimal usage of that. Minimal,
Well,
as little as possible. Sometimes you need to have
If you have really crazy heart disease, here he is. He can answer that question. Messi,
He just walked in with his coat
come
on.
on.
But what he
Give an answer.
really means is to stay clear of it, so you don't get going. Because with sweet and salt, those things it's a slippery slope. Once you start, you keep adding more and more and more. So minimal salt and minimal sweet are best.
I think for special occasions,
Yeah.
not every night. This is none of these desserts should be every night.
Yeah, we don't have these every night by any means.
All
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Say goodbye. Wave goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.